Hi Liv, okay, so I'm gonna teach you how to make sauce. So what you're gonna need is 2 cans of San Marzano tomatoes. They have to be San Marzano. They're about $4.59 a can, but they're worth it. If you don't have any money, you can get the regular ones, which are just the pastine ground peeled, but these are better. 2 cans, and then 1 can of pastine tomato puree. Just this. You're gonna need about 10 to 15 basil leaves, 4 cloves of garlic, 3/4 of an onion, and we're gonna add a pork chop in this one because you like pork chops. So here's what you do. You take a big pan, you put it on medium heat, and then you put in about 1/4 cup of olive oil. Cover the bottom of the pan. So you heat that up, and then in the little food processor I gave you, you're gonna chop up the onion. Okay, so then you're gonna take your pork chop, put a little salt on it. Don't touch meat with your bare hands. Make sure you wash your hands too before you do this, or it's kind of gross. Okay. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna brown this pork chop a little bit before you add anything else. So as soon as the oil's hot, which is pretty hot, you just dump this in. And you're gonna brown this for about 4 minutes on each side. So while you're doing that, you can take out your onion, or actually you can just press your garlic. So you need about 4 cloves, this big, already peeled. You're just gonna press it in. And put it in a little bowl until you're ready to use it. Okay. So since you're only cooking 1 pork chop in here, you can start to add this stuff. But if you were cooking 2, you'd want to brown them on both sides before you added all this. Then you add 1 of salt and pepper. Okay, and then you just let that cook. And as that's cooking, you don't want to burn this because it will taste bitter and you won't be able to eat it. So cook it on a low heat, little higher than low, low plus. Then you're gonna put your tomatoes that were in the can into this food processor and puree them. I take half the basil and I split it up. I throw it right in there. And then you just want to mash it up. Puree it up until it's liquid. Sometimes you get some chunks, so it's better to pulse it. That should be good. Now stop it, because it takes a while. All right, Liv, so like I said, you're gonna brown this pork chop for about 4 minutes on each side. It's starting to get brown now. And let me just see. It's starting to get brown, but this is about what it looks like when it's ready. This is the color of the onion and the garlic. You don't want to burn it. If you burn it, at this stage of the game, throw it away because it will not taste good and you'll waste $10 worth of tomatoes. So you can start over. This is like $2. Okay. So once this is pretty brown on both sides, you can add your tomatoes. And like I said, this is the tomatoes mixed with about 6 or 7 basil leaves. So that's one. And then I add the tomato puree in between. Stir that up. It's hard with the pork chop, but just mix it around. And then puree the second can with the rest of the basil. Pour that in. And just mix it all up gently so you don't splash the sauce all over the stove, like I just did. And let that cook. If you're gonna eat it like this, let it cook for about 20 minutes. If you're gonna make meatballs, put it on low heat, cover it, and make the meatballs. Hi, Liv. Okay, so now we're gonna make meatballs. So what you need for meatballs is 1 egg, 1 cup of milk, and you beat that together. And then you're going to add a big pinch of salt and pepper. Mix it up again. Then you're going to add exactly 1 cup of Italian breadcrumbs. Mix it up again. And then 1/3 cup grated Parmesan cheese. Mix it up. It should look like this. And then you're going to let that sit for a minute. And then to it, you're going to add 1 pound of ground beef. So the recipe is 1 cup of milk, 1 egg, 1 cup of breadcrumbs, 1 pound of ground beef. It's pretty easy to remember. So you throw that in. If you ever touch raw meat, you gotta wash your hands immediately. That's the rule. With real soap and real water. Okay, so now you're going to just mash the meat up. You can do it with your hands. You can, if your hands are clean and you have no jewelry on, you can do it with baggies on your hands. You can just do it with a big fork. So you just got to keep mashing it up till you can't see any red that's separate from the breadcrumbs. This takes about 4 minutes to do. And don't rush it or you're going to get meatballs with a big bite of breadcrumbs in the middle, and it's not good. Okay, so the meatballs are mixed. Your sauce should be pretty hot right now. So I'm actually going to take the cover off and turn it way down to the lowest setting possible. And then this is what the meatballs should look like when they're all mixed up. And then you're going to take a little bowl and fill it olive oil. And you're going to use the same, you want the same size meatballs so they all cook at the same time. So you're going to take like a tablespoon size like that. If you have any rings on, take them off. And once you get that size, you're going to dip it in the olive oil and make it into a ball. You should get about 15 meatballs out of a pound this size. And you put them right on the cookie sheet. So, same size, tablespoon, dip it in the olive oil, and then make it into a ball. Same size. So we're almost done with the meatballs on the last one. And this made 14. I said 15. I was off by one. So this is how they look. And you're gonna put these in the broiler for 12 minutes, depending on how your broiler works, but it might be 15. You know, it could be 3 more minutes. And you wait for them to come out. And this is a good time to start your pasta. If you're gonna have spaghetti with the sauce and meatballs, have a pan of water already boiling before you start the meatballs, and then you can put the pasta in just before you put the meatballs in the oven. Okay, so it's been about 12 minutes, so the meatballs ready to come out. This is what they should look like. And then all you're gonna do is gently drop these into your sauce. I'd give it a quick stir. The pork chop is still in there also. And then just drop these in. And then just make sure they're all under the sauce. Cover and cook for about 10 minutes on low. And if the meatballs are the size I just showed you, that's how long it will take to cook. If they're bigger, then you should cook for about 15 minutes. But make sure the sauce is on low. And the pasta is ready. So you can take that out and drain that. And just let all the water come out of that. And if you wait the 10 minutes, that pasta will be ready to serve with the sauce and the meatballs, a little Parmesan cheese, and some Italian bread.